Hi, this is Topher with Media Forge Productions. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make an Instagram style layout, showing the featured images from your posts, and each one links to the post. Let's get started. So to begin with, let's take a look at the template site that I've set up here. It's running Kadence, obviously. We have a header. We have a right sidebar. My homepage is my blog roll. And we have a footer. You'll note that some of my posts do not have images. I'm going to show you how we're going to deal with that in a minute. So the first thing we're going to do is create a new page. We're going to add a title, but it's not going to show up on the front end, so you can call it anything you want. And just to see what the default looks like, let's hit publish and view this post. So there we are, header, sidebar, title, footer. And we want to get rid of all of that. We want to start with a blank white page. So to do that, we're going to use the page settings tab here, and we're going to turn off the title. We're going to set our page layout to normal, which is no sidebar. We're going to remove the vertical spacing. Kadence puts a little spacing at the top and the bottom. We're going to leave the bottom, but take off the top. And we're going to disable the header and the footer. And just to be safe, let's disable the featured image. We're not going to add one, but you never know. So let's hit save, and we'll view this page again. And there it is. Plain white blank page. So the first thing we're going to do is add a little header. This should be your site logo. So I'm going to start with a row and use the Kadence row. Make it a single box. And I'm going to inherit max width from theme, though it doesn't really matter because we're going to center our content. So let's choose an image. So I'm using the Kadence image block. We want this logo, and we'll give it some alt text. This would probably be your own site logo. And that image it's an SVG, but it's set to 1,000 wide. We don't really want 1,000. We want like 300. And we want the image centered, just like that. Let's save, and we'll view. And there we are. Now I want a little bar, a little border on the bottom, but I want it on the row. And I also want it to go full width of the browser, not just the width of the container. So we're going to say full width right here. And then under style, we go to border. And I only want it on the bottom. So I'm going to click this little lock and, oh, that's radius. This lock, and make it so that I can do each side individually. We'll take a look here. There we are. So now I want to put just a little text header at the top. So let's put in another row and make it full width and add a text block. Make it a paragraph and say, click an image to see more. And then center this. There we are. So now we want to create our grid. So we're going to add one more row. And even though we're making a grid, the query block is going to make the grid for us. So we're going to choose a full one, inherit max width from theme. And in here, we're going to add the query loop. And we're going to create a new query loop with no filters and call it anything you want. I'll call it Instagram posts, even though it's not really Instagram. And hit create. And then we need to select a query card. And I'm going to create a new one also. And we're going to choose simple because in the end, we're going to delete almost everything except the image. We'll call this Instagram card. And hit create. So right now, each card is an image, the header, and description. Well, we don't want any of that stuff. So I'm going to click in that box and hit delete. So now we have only images. The issue is some of our posts do not have images. So how are we going to deal with that? The way I dealt with it is I created a category called images. And every post with an image is in it. And every post without an image is not in it. So to click here to get to the query settings. And I'm going to choose a taxonomy, categories, select term, images. And there we are. We have only posts with images. However, by default, WordPress gets 10, which leaves one hanging off there. So let's change our results per page to 9, which gives us a nice little grid. So let's hit save. And it's going to save all of these things. So we're going to do that. And reload the page. And there we are. But that only gives us 9 images. So let's go back and do a couple of things here. Let's turn on infinite scroll. And we'll just do that real quick. And there we are. Infinite scroll. And cool thing about this is that you can also choose in your card query card, you can choose how many columns. So we just go to 4, and of course now we have one offset. So instead of 9, let's choose 12. So we go back to our query settings and make it 12. Save. And there we have a grid of 4. Now, as we scroll, the infinite scroll makes them just pop right up. But we have the option to make them fade in. So if we click on the image and we go to advanced, animate on scroll, we can choose any of these. So let's do fade. Now when we scroll, they fade in. Now we also want less space between these. So let's show how to do that. We want to be on the card. And right here we have row gap and column gap. So we can go small, extra small. We can go none, like this. Make a real grid. Right now we have border radius, so they have these little kisses between them. Yes, we have border radius 4 on all of them. Set that. We go to 0. So now let's hit save. There. Now we have a grid with no spacing between them, which could be what you want, or maybe not. Let's put just a little bit of space in there. And note, I chose these buttons, but on the right, you can choose gaps. Now, I want to show you one more thing with mobile. So if we go to inspect and turn on mobile, you can see that we get just one image at a time. You may want that. You may not. Let me show you how to adjust. So columns, 4, but let's say on tablet, we have 2. Let's go back to 4. And we'll set our row gap here. And then even on mobile, let's choose 2. And put in, then when we reload, we still have 2. So you get more on a screen on a phone. And that's how you make an Instagram style layout with KadenceWP. In this video, I used Kadence Blocks Pro. If you'd like to purchase Kadence Blocks Pro, please use the affiliate link in the description below.